last couple of hours as we build up to the most exhaustive definitive exit poll, the numbers of which you'll get in a few minutes from now, just after 8, has been on Maharashtra. But there is another state which is important for a variety of reasons, Haryana, which has gone to the polls today. One of those big reasons is that there are only 2 states left in North India where the Congress is in power: Uttarakhand, Himachal and Haryana. So if Haryana is lost now by the Congress, then the Congress is reduced to just Himachal and Uttarakhand as far as North India is concerned. Bhupinder Singh Hooda is a 2-time Chief Minister. He's battling for a 3rd term. Listen into what he has to say, and then we'll tell you why Haryana becomes so critical both for Narendra Modi and for the Congress.
We have with us Haryana Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda. Mr. Hooda, your response to exit polls?
You see, exit poll after every election they go. I don't think any exit poll has come to be the correct. You see, they form their opinion while sitting at one place. I am talking about field. I have been in touch with all of my candidates. So on that basis, I can say that Congress is going to form government in Haryana 3rd time.
So what was the issues in this particular election?
The issue was normally after 10 years, even after 5 years, there is anti-incumbency for any government. But in Haryana, there was no anti-incumbency, rather it was a pro-incumbency because of the good governance and good work done by the Haryana government. And we have formulated different policies in the interest of every section of society we have covered. We have involved them together, they are together, and Haryana has progressed well.
And how do you see Narendra Modi? Was there any magic?
You see, Lok Sabha issues are different. Vidhan Sabha is different. That was during Lok Sabha. So there was, whatever you say, whether it is magic or it was a anti-incumbency or whatever it may be, BJP got the majority. But the hopes which were aroused by the BJP amongst the people, now people are becoming hopeless. And the result is same in by-elections you have seen. After Lok Sabha election, 54 by-elections have been held. And the BJP was holding 42 segments out of 54. But while result of by-election shows that it has come down to 21. From 42, number has come down to 21 out of 54. Maybe after 6 months, if the by-elections are held, they may draw nil.
Sir, my last question is, how many seats you are expecting in Haryana?
I am expecting majority.
Total?
Majority.
So this was Haryana Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda, and he is very confident and hoping he will make government 3rd time. In Rohtak, for Headlines Today, Satyendra Chauhan.
The great thing about our politicians is they will brave it out till the very end. Most polls are writing off Bhupinder Singh Hooda. He's not writing himself off. And why should he? He is still the Chief Minister of Haryana. Manisha Garayat, would it be fair to say that Bhupinder Singh Hooda is one of the last satraps left? You've got Tarun Gogoi in Assam and you've got Bhupinder Singh Hooda in Haryana. And the part of the problem for Mr. Hooda is so close to Delhi that all your Delhi leaders want to extract the maximum out of Haryana. So poor Bhupinder Hooda is being pulled in different directions. True or not?
First, I object to your use of the word satrap. I don't think that's at all applicable. Second, yes, it's not only his proximity to Delhi, but the number of Congress chief ministers having sharply dropped over the years. Naturally, there will be pressures on Mr. Hooda, which would be greater than they might otherwise have been. But I think he's made a point here that the May 2014 elections were about Delhi. And there was a very, very, very strong anti-incumbency in Delhi. Now, Bhupinder claims that there isn't that in Haryana. And I'm willing to go along with him and say, let's see what this result is. I'm not persuaded that in Haryana there is going to be a big defeat of the Congress. I think it's neck and neck. And it's possible that the Congress neck will be, at the end of the day, a little ahead of the other necks in the race.
Okay, so a good thing for the Congress is while they've virtually given up hope in Maharashtra, at least in Haryana, they are hoping against hope that they may pull off a miracle.
No,
but
we're hoping neck against neck.
They're hoping neck against neck that they'll pull off a miracle. But Manisha Priyam, Haryana often is a more difficult state to predict because, contests tend to be localized. the issue, the caste factor, the dynamics of Haryana politics is such, the nature of the contest traditionally has been far more closely contested. Do you believe here too the Modi factor can cut through that? Because the surveys that have come so far on Haryana this evening, exit polls are suggesting that even in Haryana it is clearly advantage BJP.
You know, in Haryana, I think when we closed the last time we said times have changed, I think that's clearly apparent in Haryana. Despite the fact that there was caste division, look at the style of politics, look at what was on offer. Land patronage, largely. Look at why the Chief Minister and his son, in a state that was doing so well, that scam is all about giving jobs as school teachers in one of the richest and wealthiest states of the country. So places where there's so much concentration of wealth, largely on change of land use, that's led to a lot of inequality. So do we think that the voter is not rational enough to understand that in close proximity to extreme growth of wealth, what they've had on offer is literally jobs for the boys? So here's a classic case where what the BJP will have on offer will be completely different from what has been the old style politics in Haryana.
So you're saying the old style politics of Jat, land patronage, of Jat caste identity, all that is also melting now, because people in Haryana also, particularly when they see Delhi close by, want to be part of this growth engine. They want to be part of the gravy train rather than have concentration of power in a few families. That's what you're saying effectively.
For the richest of the world, and for the poorest, jobs for the boys, for which their Chief Minister and his son serve a term in jail in Delhi. So look at the gross inequality that you have. Do you think the voters don't put all this into their horizon? The voters are rational choice makers, and the bulk of the voters, remember, anywhere, are amongst those who face the asymmetries of power equations. Now, in a sense, the whole effect of the growth of wealth in this part of the country can be felt most asymmetrically in a place called Haryana. They still don't have the best offer in terms of the BJP. Here's a party that doesn't have a local base. 4 members in the outgoing assembly. No tall local leader to talk about. Their best leader is somebody called Captain Abhimanyu, who to the best of my knowledge has not been winning popular elections. But still, if they do well, then it's clearly a demand on the part of the voter to change the old style politics, no longer keep the tenets of land and patronage distribution as the things on offer. That's the cry coming from Haryana.
I think those are very strong words, and I think they resonate, because I think in a way what you're saying is right, because Haryana, in a sense, if the polls are right and if it is advantage BJP, again it's a dramatic transformation in the politics of Haryana, because you've got a state which has traditionally run on caste identities, on local, Mani doesn't like the word satrap, but local strongmen, I will call them. The Chautalas, before that the Devilals, the Huddas, they've all run little family, someone in Rohtak, someone in Sirsa, someone in Jind. So you've had these local satraps. And now, if Manisha is right, even that is disintegrating, that is melting down.
Local fiefdom.
Local fiefdom. So that is melting down.
Rajdeep, I think.
So politics in India is fundamentally changing.
I think the term we used last time was a tectonic shift.
That's right.
Look at Haryana. Haryana was ruled by Chaudhary Devilal, then Om Prakash Chautala, then Bansilal. Now, Mr. Devilal's family and Mr. Chautala's family have set up, these are former congressmen.
Yes.
They've set up their own parties. BJP never got more than, the vote share of BJP was never more than 10%.
That's right.
And come 2014, in the Lok Sabha elections, we find 7 seats won by BJP. And this election, the BJP is hoping, and exit polls and opinion polls are suggesting that BJP's prospects are very bright.
Okay, so
and this is the tectonic shift.
Okay, we're going to use the word tectonic from now on. I don't think Mani will object to that word tectonic. He's objected to the word satrap. I don't think he'll object to the word that there is a tectonic change taking place in Indian politics. And certainly at the moment, the Congress seems to be at the wrong end of that tectonic plate.
But Rajdeep,
yes,
Haryana is not just Jind and Rohtak.
No, I'm not saying
Haryana is also
Sirsa, Ambala.
It is also other small towns which have all come up in business that way, and which have got very great links with either Punjab or Delhi, and it's also Gurgaon, it's also Faridabad, and these areas are all very representative.
Sir, I
and
take
they
it,
all want to take up a very different issue.
But I take it. But I think the point which is being made is concentration of power and wealth in the hands of a few at the expense of a large number of people can result in a desire for change. And that is what the voter seems to be saying.
The voter profile has also changed dramatically.
I agree.
Be careful. He is a Haryanvi.
Yeah, he's a Haryanvi, he voted in Gurgaon. So here Ashok Lahiri will tell us why Haryana, in a sense, Gurgaon, as people say, represents new Haryana. You know, you have, it almost seems close to more, at times more close to Beverly Hills than it is to Delhi.